Spurs bottle the lead yet again. United fight back to beat Brighton. Villa heap more pressure onto Fulham. And Southampton come back from 2 goals down to beat Burnley. Hey guys, Fletch here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Fletch Talks video. You know the drill by now. This is the video where I take a trending topic or a topic of interest within the world of football, bring it here, put it in the spotlight, put it under the microscope, whatever you want to call it, and we discuss it, we talk about it, we may even debate a little about it as well. And today's video is of course no exception, as today we are looking at today's Premier League results that had implications at the top 4 race and at the relegation fight as well. Before we go on with the video though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get on with talking about today's Premier League action. We're going to begin with a game that had 2 teams that were fighting at opposite ends of the table. You had Tottenham in one corner who were fighting for top 4. And in the other corner, you had Newcastle who were fighting relegation. Well, Tottenham weren't able to take advantage of both Chelsea and Leicester dropping points yesterday, as they fell to a late equaliser against Newcastle, and it was a on loan Arsenal player who did the damage, as the Magpies gained a hard-earned point in their fight for survival following a 2-2 draw at St James's Park. The Magpies took the lead through Joe Linton in the first half. Yes, that Joe Linton, quite embarrassing for Tottenham that they let Joe Linton score. But their lead only lasted 90 seconds as a fortunate bounce saw Harry Kane equalise for Spurs. He equalised with a tap-in, and mere minutes later, Kane put Tottenham ahead, firing into the corner of the net. But with 5 minutes of normal time remaining, it was the on-loan Arsenal player Joe Willock who scored the equaliser. He came off the bench and made both sides have to settle for a point apiece in that game. And, you know, upon reflection, it was probably a fair result overall. I think, once again, you're seeing that Spurs again drop points from a winning position. It's becoming a real issue that for them now. They failed to take advantage of Chelsea and Leicester's defeat yesterday, like I mentioned, in this race for top 4 that is really heating up right now. They had the chance to go into the top 4 today, which they didn't take. And for a side who has got nothing more to play for except a top 4 finish, they have to go for it. And they've got to stop these errors and stop losing from winning positions. Otherwise, there will be no Champions League football next season. And if it gets any worse, you might fear that they may not even make it into the Europa League either. As for Newcastle, a well-earned point to put towards their survival bid. I still think they're in trouble though. They played well today, but based off their past performances, you kind of expect this side to be poor in their next game. I think their next game is against Burnley. So it's another sort of team that's not exactly safe, but they're not exactly in very hot water either. They're not very much in trouble, but sort of just teetering on the edge a little bit. So be interested to see how they go from here in their remaining games. I know their remaining games are difficult. They're going to be facing teams that are either fighting to survive or fighting for top 4. So they've got a very, very, very tough run of fixtures coming up, and it'll be interesting to see how this side goes about their battle to survive as the season draws to a close. Our next game, we come to Manchester United, who fought back from a goal down to beat Brighton 2-1 at Old Trafford. Brighton took the lead in the first half through a former United player who is Danny Welbeck, whose initial header was saved by United goalkeeper Dean Henderson, but the rebound fell kindly to the England striker, and he made no mistake at the second time of asking from close range. United did go on to equalise for a well-placed shot from Marcus Rashford, and then as the game drew to a close, Mason Greenwood pounced with a header of his own to secure all 3 points for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side, who strengthened their hold on second place in the process. Brighton may feel hard done by that they didn't manage to hold on to gain a point from this game. They're not entirely safe if you look at the bigger picture of things. If you look at their league standings, for example, and their points tally, They are very much still within the fight to survive, but you should feel like they may have enough about them to survive, and maybe that final relegation place is going to be between a head-to-head battle between Newcastle and Fulham. Brighton should have enough about them. If they had a consistent enough goal scorer, we wouldn't be having them in this debate, I don't think. But that's obviously something that they can work towards for hopefully next season. But for now, they have to focus on getting to a point where they are safe, secure, kept their head above water, and survive to be in the Premier League for another season. As for United, they strengthened their hold on second place, like I mentioned. Like I said, top four is seemingly a certainty now for them. They can pretty much put all their eggs in this Europa League basket that they have to focus on, and they can turn their attention to on Thursday when they take on Spanish side Granada. And, you know, overall, it's about attempting to salvage this season with a bit of silverware. And even if it is the BTEC Champions League, so be it. Next, we come to an incredibly quick turnaround for Aston Villa as they heaped more pressure onto Fulham as the relegation fight takes a big hit for them following a 3-1 loss to Villa this afternoon. It was Fulham who actually went ahead in this game in the second half for a gift of a goal after Tyrone Mings' error allowed Alexander Mitrovic through on goal, and he rounded the goalkeeper Emi Martinez to score for the home side. Substitute Trezeguet Guedes came on and he instantly turned things around with a quick fire double. First to equalise for Villa and then to put that side ahead. And mere minutes after putting that side ahead, Ollie Watkins put the game to bed. He scored Villa's third goal of the afternoon from close range, and it just heaped more pressure on to Scott Parker and his Fulham side. A late push for Europe isn't out of the question for Villa, I don't think. They have a game in hand over some of the teams that are above them, and with that game in hand, they can go into Europa League places. And then from there, it's basically anybody's guess as to who goes where. If they can just go back to being strong at the back and also getting some consistency in front of goal, get Ollie Watkins firing on all cylinders, they could have a very interesting end to the season. But if not, and if things don't go that way, then a comfortable mid-table finish isn't nothing to moan at either. Especially when you consider that this is a much more improved stance than what we saw last season from this club, because, you know, they were in a relegation fight this season. Don't have to worry about that this campaign. So full credit to the squad, the manager and the club for making a massive improvement and a massive step up to where they are right now. As for Fulham, well, they took 3 very quick sucker punches today and got caught out in a 10-minute period. As before that, they looked pretty good. They looked like they were going to be seeing the game out, but of course it wasn't to be. They've still got a good chance of surviving. They've still got some good games coming up. I think they've probably got a better run in than what Newcastle have right now. They just need to find some consistency in front of goal. And I think the upside may come in that Alexander Mitrovic scored today. He scored. He's back amongst the goals for Fulham. He's obviously been among the goals for his country, Serbia, during the international period. So maybe that can play to their advantage, but the games are counting down, the pressure is mounting, and it's going to be a very interesting relegation scrap to watch going forward. And finally, in today's midday kickoff, Southampton came from 2 goals down to claim all 3 points against a Burnley side who, again, are not entirely safe, but are pretty much out of major hot water. But for this game, they lost 3-2. They were 2-0 up, and Southampton fought back to become 3-2 winners as the Saints claimed all 3 points in today's midday game. Burnley raced into a 2-goal lead, like I said. The opening 20 minutes saw Chris Wood scoring from the penalty spot before Mateo Vidra doubled their lead. Stuart Armstrong pulled a goal back for the Saints on the half-hour mark before Danny Ings equalised just before half-time. And midway through the second half, Nathan Redmond found the Saints' all-important winner that made them gain 3 points from this fixture. Overall, great comeback from the Saints. They'll be comfortably secure in mid-table, no doubt, whilst for Burnley, they are seemingly safe, like I mentioned. Of course, a lot can happen between now and the end of the season. A lot of points are still up for grabs, but you'd think that they'll have no real issues between now and then in keeping their heads above water and staying in the Premier League for another season. But of course, these are the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of today's fixtures? What do you make of the results that happened? What do you make of Fulham going down to Aston Villa? What do you make of their chances of survival this season? What do you make of Spurs losing yet another lead and Newcastle gaining what could turn out to be a very valuable and important point against Jose Mourinho's side today? What do you make of Manchester United's fight back against Brighton? What do you make of Brighton this season? Are they the worst kind of best club? Are they the best kind of worst club? And let me know your thoughts on that. And of course, what do you make of Southampton's season, Burnley's season, and the fight back we saw from the Saints today in those two's fixture? Love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down in the comment section below. I'm sure they'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the right if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I will soon speak with you all again soon in another video.